Hi, and welcome to this very short case study. In this case study, I'm going to take you through how we took this Danish distillery from only focusing on B2B to switching over to B2C, and then scale the e-commerce store from 0 to 5.8 million in plus. And as you might already see, my name is Thomas, and I'm the founder of AdNomad, where we help e-commerce stores grow and scale their businesses past the current results. So, who's this case study relevant for? Well, it's relevant for you if you are a business owner that is in e-commerce already, and you might have hit a plateau where you see, well, we can't really scale past our current results. Every time we do, we see a drop in ROAS and we see a higher cost per acquisition, and we might not even have a really good lifetime value on our clients. Um, we only work with e-commerce businesses and have done that for the past 3 years. And throughout these 3 years, we have a handful of really good good cases and results. At least we're seeing the approach we have today is working really well with the e-commerce stores. That's what I'm going to show you here in this case study, how we take this approach and what we at least know works today. So, we are a very small and lean marketing team that fully operates like your in-house marketing team. But instead of having, let's say, two or three in-house people working for you full time, you only have to deal with us as an external part, but you don't have to pay us full time. And we only work fully on how much profit we can generate for our clients today. And what makes us special? Well, I don't think anything makes us extremely special, just that we know what works and we really take this approach to help other e-commerce businesses. And of course, we are very creative and have an approach that is we want to scale your business because that's what's really about all this kind of advertising. So our holistic approach is to scale our clients through paid advertisement. That means Meta, TikTok, Google, Snapchat sometimes, of course, but wherever we can make push or pull marketing with putting money behind. What we do for our clients as well is email marketing automation. So we make sure that we have all the background for when people are interested somehow in it, either if it's signing up to a newsletter or if they abandon your cart. We're making sure that we try to find those people who are ready to buy from you and become your new clients. That's also how we can get the client acquisition costs down. We also help with conversion rate optimization because whenever you send people through your website, the better it is and the better it converts, the more money you get in the end. That's basically how it should be. Content creation also something we specialize in. I've been a videographer and photographer through the last 12 or 13 years. Before I also went into marketing and studied this. So I know exactly what it takes to create either pictures, videos, in general, the content for ads that I've also been shooting a lot for my clients. So we have the full approach to how we can fully operate like your in-house marketing team, but we are an external part. As I've said before, all of our results are based on the profit that we generate for you. We know what it is that business owners have to go through today. So it's not only what you see in the revenue you generate, it's really on the profit that you make out from this revenue in general. So there is costs for everything today. It's not free to drive and manage a e-com store. So we take that into our approach, and our fully responsibility for you guys is that, well, we have to make you more money on the bottom line. And that's what we always are looking at. So what we normally do, or in general, our approach to all of this is that we are focusing all our attention on the best performing ads. We have so much data coming in through what we are doing with paid advertisement that we can actually see what's working and what's the difference between this ad and this ad, and if we copy this one over to this, can we make a fully growth going in and scale it on in general. So with this distillery client especially, we scale them on a weekly basis, and we've been really aggressive in the way of doing it because we took um, in general the ads that were really performing and copied them. So we found the winners and we went back into our approach and said, okay, this video is really performing. Why is it performing? Is it the hook? Is it the copy? Is it the product? How is it working? Why is it that people are communicating with us and want to buy from us when we see this ad is working? So when you have one winner, well, we always try to go back and see if we can copy that and then do it over and over again for each product. And whenever we have a new product launch, we know exactly we have a pipeline of content we need to create from the bottom because we know it worked on the others, and we also see it's working. So we drive sales from the very first day on a very, very high conversion rate because we take the approach to our content and the ad copies and so on, and focus strictly on this from the beginning, and we see it's working. And the test we also do with this is that we focus on the hook, as said, ad copies, videos versus pictures. That's mostly what we test out. So one product has different variations, and with the data we have, we can see what's working. So with this specific client, this is what we have an ongoing test with, because when we see, okay, this it might be a new kind of ad creative that we haven't thought about before. We test it out. Well, it was working. Okay, let's go back and see if we can create even more of this and copy it into our product line in general. So that's how our approach is. It's one long test. You can't just set up one thing and just let it roll. You really have to be, at least if you want to scale, aggressive in this way and keep performing. Another thing we really focus on is that we want to increase the lifetime value of the client. So if you have a person that's bought from you once, why not make them buy from you over and over again? And this is why this distillery client is, of course, it's a distillery. We have a product that is kind of limited on how long it would last. So when you sell liquor in general, well, there is people who drink it faster than others. That's just a fact. And that's why we also see we can make people come back and buy over and over again because of the flows and also in general the newsletter flows we set up for these guys. And we see it works. The good thing about Klaviyo as well as Google Ads and Meta Ads is that you can see especially like specifically from each newsletter or flow what you generate. Of course, you have to take in mind that there's some overlaps in Meta and Google, but that's why we have server-side tracking and in general other like triple whale or reaction to see exactly where the sales are coming from. But our main focus here is to nurse the existing customers and make them buy over and over again. And that's why we see that our lifetime value in general are increasing. And we see we can make more money from each person that buys from us. So if they bought once, they're more likely to buy from us again, especially if the product is good, the service is good, and we can make them make them happy. And solve their problem, of course. Um, but you might be one of the 80% of other businesses that not have the real focus on this today, and maybe you have, but your flow is not long enough. So we see that we can always increase this and make the flow longer and longer. And in general, people, when they've shown interest, if you have them opening an email but not buying, why not send them another email and another one and another one? And it might sound like spamming, but we can see how many percentage of all the clients are opening these mails and how much revenue in general we are generating from each mail. And if we can see that we are generating revenue from each mail we send, why not make the flow even longer? Because then you have a higher rate possibility to convert another client. So that's a lot of the focus we have with Klaviyo, especially what's also worked a lot for this client. Because every time we send out an email, we see that we might only generate $2,000 in this email, but it's $2,000 for sending out a free email, and who doesn't want to do that? But it could also be $20,000 on each email, depending on what kind of focus we have. Most important is that we are generating profit for you in the back end. So, what is actually the results with this client, and why is it that we make a case study with it? Well, we took it from 0 to 5.8 million Danish crowns within these 2 years, and they have a great product. They just didn't know how to market it and get out it into people. They didn't have any approach to it, and that's where we could take over. And as said, with the background I have in doing content before studying marketing, taking a bachelor's, and so on, we knew exactly where to start. And as you can see, the result speaks for themselves. We have here in July where we started out, and then we see we are, of course, in December. It's really high and really good for this client because it's a great gift for dads in general. Yeah, of course, men is our main target group in this area, but also the wives and girlfriends and daughters and sons are buying it for their fathers in Christmas time. That's where we see we can generate a lot of money for this client. But yeah, as you see, in general, it's just going up and up and up every year. And I'm also gonna get back into why we have a drop here from after December and until July. I'm going to show you that in a second. But in general, we are having an approach that is profitable. We have a profit margin around 60%, depending on products, but we are making very good money for this client. And I'm going to show you in a second also what we've spent on this. But in general, we have taken this client from having zero income to 6 million Danish crowns in 2 years. And we're not done yet. We've been limited on stock. That's also why we have some down periods because it takes time to create great liquor. Some of it has to barrel for years and so on. So now we're also in the process of scaling how they can get even more products out and the approach to the business in general. So the most important part, of course, is how much money have you spent on this client? Because if we make 6 million, but we also spend 6 million, then it's not a profitable case. In this case, though, we spent 1 million Danish crowns on this client and made 5.8. Well, the quick math is that we have a ROAS of 5.8 for this client in general. So yeah, you see here we have a snippet from our Meta ads. So you can see we spent 910,000 Danish kroner on Meta, and then we've spent 91,646 kroner on Google. But of course, the main factor is that we have spent almost 1 million kroner in Meta ads. And what's specifically and special about this client is that almost all the sales come strictly from ads. It might not be 100%, but it's at least 95%. So the marketing we put into this channel and in general this client is that everything comes from this. There's no organic that's driving the sales. There's no influencers or anything. This is strictly from ads that we are seeing that we at least have the big brand communication and we also are scaling them through. And we can see when we, of course, have these numbers that every time we scale people through these kind of ads, well, we really see good numbers. And that's also why we are investing heavily in this, because as well as you see here, the major drop I said before in 2024, that is right here. That is because the client didn't think that we could sell alcohol or liquor in January and until July, because that's what they normally saw a drop in. They tried before with ads, and they also had another store before, but they couldn't get any revenue. The year after this, in 2025, we said, why not try? Because there's a lot of great things. We have Father's Day as well. That's also now a very, very big and highly profitable day for us, at least in Denmark. And there's just like this gap here where we have no revenue compared to this year. We are already 2 million kroner ahead of last year. That's 2 million of revenue they've lost last year. Let's say that hypothetical. But because we tried to at least do the advertisement and see in January, okay, it's working. February, it's still working. And in March, it's still working. So now we have a full all year round marketing channel that is working and driving sales for this client. And as soon as we introduce new stuff and we put more money into it and we see what's working, well, every month we are pushing the limits for how fast we can grow. We are still having some kind of stock issues, let's say that, um, some months, but that's also why we have to. That's the good thing about it. We can descale, but our focus is to keep the KPIs, have the high ROAS, lower the acquisition costs, and of course drive more sales through our channel. And that's why we have this holistic way of looking at the advertisement for these clients, and also why we can see that, yeah, we are already planning this year's Christmas, and we are thinking about, okay, can we make a scale that's 3 to 4 times faster and make new launches even faster than we normally are, because right now the business are investing the money that we see now more into their own product line, everything, because when we do that, we can see that we can actually scale the profit more and more for each month. Um, so the challenge with this specific distillery client is it's a very e-commerce niche brand, and in general, selling alcohol is a challenge because you are restricted on some areas. Of course, we only send it to 18 plus in Denmark, but Google is restricting some of it, and we are trying to make our way around it. But we found a plan now that works, and we can see that slowly scaling month to month on Google. We are having more and more clients coming from there, and doing this kind of pull approach, we see a higher demand for it now. We are also seeing that more and more people in our organic search is searching for the brand now. So we have created a new kind of brand strategy through that there is a demand for this now, and we see that people are engaging more and more in it. So we can actually, from going all in on push, we now have a pull channel as well. And that's also why we see that our ROAS is rising and our cost per acquisition is actually at least stable, if not lowering. But that's the problem for a lot of clients today, that every time you put more money into it, your ROAS is dropping and your cost per acquisition is rising. And you are sacrificing profit if you don't have the right strategy and you don't know what's working if you're not working with your data. So when you know what the ideal customer looks like and how we can put them into our funnel and then map the full customer journey through our data segmentation, that is where we can build this holistic approach and then take them like from the full circle on how to get them into our flow. And this is basically how we are operating, because you see we are on channels here. Most clients are not on TikTok, but it could be a great way of doing the push marketing as well today. But we know that most of our sales in this distillery client is coming from Facebook. So of course we push even further here, and when we know we have a winner at a set, we create more and more of it, and then we put more money into it, as long as we can see that we are scaling it profitably. If not, we of course kill the ad, and we're not letting something run without being profitable. So that's why we keep testing and testing and testing to see, okay, can we have a new approach? Is it better with one person than the other? Should we be in another landscape? Something like that. Is it being a distillery, or is it selling the dream of where you can be adventurous with this kind of alcohol? All these kinds of things are something we try to test out in our strategy, when we can have a visual way of promoting the product. Of course, Google is another way because people are doing search, but we have a full uh, approach strategy that is, of course, search, performance max, but also demand gen today. So we can do some brand strategy in general for this client. So to not make this case study even longer, to take this takeaway from this distillery client is that it is possible to grow your brand profitably. That's the bottom line of it. You just have to have the right approach, because you might already try and then you see you have one ad, or let's say a strategy that is working, but when you put more money into it, it's not working. And that's because there could be a lot of factors, but mostly we see that it is that you don't take your winners and put them into uh, a strategy where you create more winners around this product, like this scaling ad. That's when we know that we can double down on this and then test out even further. And that's both on the ads, but also the target audiences, and create this winning ad and make the script for the next winning ad. Because when you do that, instead of having one, you can have 10, 20 winning ads. And every time you put money into each of them, you can see you make money in a return. And of course, if they don't buy straight away, it's really important to be catching them in the other end of your funnel, where we do the retargeting and we have strong email marketing to get clients to buy from you again. As said, this is not the first time we do it. We have other clients that we do this approach for, and yeah, we just see it works. And then our way of testing and grab grabbing the attention and hanging on to the clients is working, and it's making profit on the bottom line for all of these kinds of e-commerce brands, even though they're each kind of their niche. So if you're struggling today and this sounds interesting and you want to see more, jump on a discovery call with me. I will definitely take my time to see if I can help you out, or at least give you a free way of looking into your marketing platform on funnel today in a different way. Because as said, I know it works. At least we have tested it out on so many clients now that we have an approach that you might also be able to use in your business. Thanks for watching, and get in contact with me if we should talk.